Hi guys, welcome to the channel. In today's video, I want to talk about a few new products. Some of them have managed to become staples in my routine, others I have already phased out. Nonetheless, I want to talk about my experience with all of them. So without further ado, let's start this video. So these are all the products I'm going to be talking about today, including the shampoo. And let's actually start with the shampoo. First of all, I love this stuff. This is an anti-dandruff shampoo. And more specifically, this is made for dry dandruff. I didn't realize there's a difference between dry dandruff and oily dandruff. I experienced dry dandruff, so I needed this particular shampoo. I ended up buying this at my local pharmacy. And this is by the brand Eucerin, which I believe may have a different name in the US. If that is the case, I'm going to put it on the screen. But this product worked like a charm. First of all, I do not usually experience dandruff. Usually my scalp is very healthy, I guess you could say, but I do usually experience the dry dandruff in two cases. First of all, whenever I get my straightening treatment done, and if you follow me a little bit, you know that I get a Japanese hair straightening treatment done, and obviously my hair doesn't look very straight today, but you know, I style it that way. But I get a straightening treatment done. Whenever I get that done, my hair tends to, or my scalp tends to just be a little bit irritated and then develops these dry dandruff symptoms, I guess you could say. And then also it happens whenever I use a product that my scalp reacts sensitive to. So sometimes I will use a certain shampoo or a certain conditioner and I immediately get dandruff, and that's when I know for sure, okay, can't use that product, it's not good for my scalp. My hair hates it usually as well. So I bought this because, let me just spill the beans. I got married and I didn't have the time to wait for it to clear naturally, because whenever I get my straightening treatment done, I get the dandruff and then it usually goes away after like 3-4 weeks. And I couldn't be sure, because these things are never sure. So I was like, okay, let me go to the pharmacy and buy something specifically to clear it. And it worked like a charm. There's about this much left. And I had a little pre-wedding routine when it comes to this. I washed my hair, I think 3 or 4 times a week to really make sure that the product could get on my scalp and really clear it out. And it worked like a charm. And yeah, at this point I'm going to phase it out. There's only about this much left, and it's not very drying on the overall hair, although I didn't clean my entire hair with it. I only really let the foam sort of rinse it out. And it's a really good product. About this much left. I'm going to use it up and then, not repurchase until I need it again. One thing I do want to say, if you can stand Head and Shoulders, from experience, it works really well on dandruff of any kind. It's too, I want to say, irritating on my scalp, because I always develop an itchy scalp after using Head and Shoulders, which is why I went ahead and bought a more higher quality dandruff shampoo, and it worked like a charm. So if you're struggling with dandruff, can't get rid of it, definitely look into this brand and into this product. It's a good product. Next up, I talked about hair scrubs before on this channel, and I think I also I may have gotten attacked for it a little bit in the comments, but I think I also explained how I am not a big fan of clarifying shampoos, because I just find them way too stripping and drying and just irritating on the scalp as well. And that's also one of the reasons why when I have to clarify my hair, I tend to opt for correct preposition, hair scrubs and scalp scrubs. It's just what works better for my hair. And I think I talked about this one in a video I think that many of you actually watched. It was a very popular video. And this is by Christoph Robin. And it's a really good scalp scrub, hair scrub. It smells very, I always talk about the smell, but let me talk about the smell. It smells very fresh, very nice, very fresh. It's a good product, works perfectly well. And I'm almost out of it. So there's maybe half a use left. And the issue for me was I wanted to buy the big size, because this is the sample size, and it was so expensive. I think it was 25 euros, dollars. It's virtually the same. And I was like, oh my God, but it's just a scrub. Can it be really a $25 scrub? And I was like, okay, let me just look for something that's a little bit more affordable. And I found this one by TRESemmé. And this one is called the Purify and Hydrate Exfoliating Scalp Scrub for Greasy Hair. Yep, that's it. That's the one. And I love it. It's an amazing product. I think this entire pod, how much was this? Or how much is this? 300 milliliters. This entire thing was 15 bucks, so really affordable in comparison. So I bought it, tested it, and I have to say, guys, it's an amazing product. So this is what it looks like, kind of a little bit gooey, kind of a little bit odd. The smell is incredible. It's very traditional professional hairstylist product smell, like perfume. You may remember in the early 2000s when you went to Sally's and you like smelled shampoos or conditioners, they all had that like very kind of chemically perfume. It's kind of what it smells like. It's not a very modern smell, but very refreshing, very nice, almost towards the sweet side. And yeah, good product, clarifies my hair, gets it ready for serious treatments like, you know, bond building treatments. And it's a really good product. And yeah, new staple in my routine and replacing the Christoph Robin hair scrub. Next up is a product I have talked about at length on my channel, and it's Olaplex No. 3. And if you have watched my other videos, you will remember how I said that I phased out No. 3 because my hair was at a point with its health where I felt like I didn't need it anymore. That is still true. However, I found a new use for it, and this is also why I'm going to phase it back in. I'm going to buy like a bigger bottle. This was actually a present from a friend. And the way I use it now is whenever I know I'm going to use heat on my hair, usually like stronger heat, like a flat iron or a curling iron, or I know I'm going to have my hair blow dried by a hairdresser, or before my straightening treatments. And I'm going to talk about this at length in a separate video, because also my other bond building product, the Redken one that I also made an entire video about, I also have a new use for that. I'm going to talk about this. But yeah, this I phased back into my routine as sort of a protective measure from heat, and it works so good, guys. Because I talked about this before, one of your main enemy when it comes to growing out your hair is heat damage, and then having to have that heat damage cut out from like your ends. And Olaplex No. 3 can actually fight off the worst. So amazing product, back in my routine. Last but not least, I'm going to talk about 3 different pomades that I've tried and used, and I'm not really where I want to be yet with pomades. So first of all, why have I included pomades back into my routine? I have not used pomades in a good 15 years, I think. And I just had to realize for myself that there aren't many good styling products for high porosity hair. High porosity hair is naturally very dry and on the coarser side. When I say coarse, I mean on the rougher, harder side when it comes to styling. You know how people have like soft or fine hair, and then they can like spray a little bit of hairspray and their hair will like lay down, or use a little bit of gel, and then, you know, their hair will do what they want. Not with my hair, and generally from my experience, not with high porosity hair in general. Our hair will like, you know, stick up, it will look crazy, and you need something heavy to actually weigh it down and make it look really good. So I had to think really hard, when was actually the last time my hair looked good styled? And I remember a very short stretch during my teenage years where I wore my hair in a bun nonstop for like 2 years. And what I also remember is that my hair was actually laying down very smoothly and very nicely, and it was super low maintenance back in the day. And the product I used back then was this. It's called 100% Indian Hemp, and it's essentially a mineral oil based pomade. So I went to a beauty supply store in my city to look for this particular product. The one I used to use, and I should have just like checked the store correctly, but the one I used to use was by Dax, the one with the like blue lid. And in the store, or in that particular one, they didn't have it, but this is like kind of the same. And I bought it, I used it, and it immediately did what it always did on my hair. It works perfectly for styling my edges as well, for getting like these really smooth, slick down buns, for just getting rid of some, you know, puffiness and stuff. It's a fantastic product. Nonetheless, and that's also, I think, the reason why I stopped using it at some point, it is very heavy, also in the sense that it's really hard to wash out. This is mineral oil based, so you need a clarifying shampoo, or you need to like use more of this hair scrub stuff to actually get it out of my hair. And that's just something I don't want to go back to. I don't want to constantly suffocate my hair with mineral oil based products and then, you know, have to use these really aggressive clarifying shampoos or even the scrubs to get rid of it all. Plus it stains your bed sheets over time. Like, you know, whenever you lean into anything, it'll leave like a greasy oil stain on anything. So for me, I knew I couldn't go back, but the product still works perfectly well. So if you don't mind mineral oil based products and you also don't mind the smell, guys, this smells so so, I don't know, it takes me back to my teenage years where every single hair product that was made for black hair had this particular coconutty, heavy smell. And if you like coconut smell, it's fine, I guess. But I also feel like this smell messes with your perfume. So you're always gonna like mostly smell like coconut and not like whatever perfume you're wearing. And I don't like any of my hair products doing that, okay? Like my hair product is not my perfume. Nonetheless, that's one of the many reasons why I really don't love the product anymore. But it does what it's supposed to do. In that sense, it's a great product. So I had to go out in the world and I had to search for alternatives. More precisely, I had to search for water-based alternatives. And I first of all came across a brand called Brosch, Brosch, I guess. They're from Japan. And these are really expensive products. Like I think this was like almost 20 euros and this was like not even, was this 5 euros or so. So these are really expensive products. And I have to say, they also hold true. Oh, guys, it's so bad. Okay, so this is a water-based pomade made in Japan, like I said, by the brand Brosch. And because I had the experience with this one where I felt like the smell, you know, this one smelling of coconut, like it was too strong. I wanted something neutral. So I thought, let's buy an unscented pomade, okay? This one is the blue one. It's unscented. Well, it's so bad. Okay, guys, the smell is so bad. It smells musty. It smells mucky. It smells like you... what's that smell? Musty and just... oh, you need to take a shower. You need to wash your hair. It's just so... it smells a bit... oh, I can't even tell you. It just smells bad, okay? The smell is horrible and it also lingers on your hair. Like initially you will literally stink and then with time it goes a little bit away, but there's still always gonna be that whiff. And especially if you use it on your edges like here or so, or like to slick back your hair, like you're always gonna have like that slight whiff around your nose. And that was really sad to experience because the product is really good. Like, without being super heavy and without the heavy coconut smell, it still stings, but it does the same as this, and it's super easy to wash out. That's why I love this one. Why I would recommend it if, you know, the smell wasn't so bad, because it washes out really well, it styles really well. It doesn't create any flakes, so you can style and restyle your hair. You can change your parting. It's an exceptional product. It's just the unscented one smells like death. Okay, it smells like something your cat would drag in and like leave in a corner where you're not seeing it. So yeah, can't recommend it. So that was like my first try with these Brosch pomades, essentially. My second attempt was to buy a different brand. This one is by, I guess, Modern Pirate. And mind you, all of these pomades, they're from an online store, a small one from the Netherlands, who sells like stuff from men's beards. So all of these are supposed to go into a beard or into like hair from a man. Okay, so that's the craziest point. They're so masculine. That's why they're, I don't know, just different. So this one is called Modern Pirate, and it's their heavy hold pomade, but for some reason it's advertised as a medium hold pomade, and I can confirm that it's a medium hold pomade. It's not as good at this, and it's definitely not as good as the mineral-based one. I still had struggle with like a few flyaways, but it was still good enough. Now you can also see that I used much more of it, and I'm actually still using it at the moment. Now the smell, it's more mild, but it smells very masculine, you know, of sandalwood, like a little bit of smoke, you know, but mostly like wood. Okay, so it's a very masculine smell. It doesn't mess as much with my perfume, but it still messes with it. And that's why I don't like it, okay? I want it to smell like fresher than this. But I also feel like for some reason it's quite moisturizing. So you do use it and your hair doesn't look like or feel like very stiff or dry. It's like kind of moisturizing while still giving you medium hold. So it's a good product that's in that sense. And it's also water-based. I only bought, you know, after this experience, I only bought water-based ones. And again, this washes out really well, and you can also style and restyle your hair. It doesn't create any flakes. So in that regard, it's a good product, but still not exactly what I'm looking for, because you know, the smell and the styling properties aren't good enough. So my last try so far, I haven't given up yet, is this second Brosch pomade, and this is the matte finish one. So by the way, this is like a what do you say, like a regular finish, one that's a little bit shiny, a little bit moisturized looking. So you can see how it catches the light. And then they also have a matte finish. And I bought the bigger one because the bigger one was for some reason as expensive as a smaller one. And the smell is perfect. It's very mild, very fresh. It doesn't smell masculine at all. It's very neutral in that regard. And almost like a little bit like citrus is in there. So the smell is amazing. You need very little product to get the job done. It has amazing styling properties. Again, in my opinion, not as good at this stuff. Like for some reason, this regular finish, or original hold is what they call them, these original hold Brosch pomades have the best styling properties in the sense that they're the closest to this real mineral oil based stuff. But you don't need a lot of this to get, you know, your style going. It is, however, because it's a matte finish, it's also more on the drier side. Plus, you can't really style and restyle your hair as much. You need to be careful because this does create flakes if restyled. So you put this in your hair, you don't have to use too much, but then you have to essentially wash your hair to be able to reuse it. Because if you repart your hair with this stuff in, or you comb through it after it's dried down, it creates flakes. So it's not perfect in that regard. But the smell is amazing. The hold is really good, not exceptional, but really good. And so far, it's my favorite one, although it's one of those that I'm also going to give to my husband to use. My husband actually found this and he's like, okay, he prefers this to his wax. And I used to use his like hair wax because that was the only thing that would do anything with my hair. But this is better than his hair wax, but I'm still not finished. What I'm essentially looking for when it comes to a pomade is that it needs to be water-based. It needs to be somewhat moisturizing instead of drying, and it needs to have exceptional hold. Essentially, this product with a more modern smell, not, you know, this heavy perfume that we used to get in the early 2000s, but like a more modern, mild smell and water-based. That would be my dream. If you have any recommendations, please let me know, because I'm in the mood to buy more pomade. That was it for today's video. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I would also love to hear your recommendations for new products and stuff I talked about in this video. And yeah, see you in the next one. Bye bye.